Today our topic is how to build better relationships using Stoic principles. Relationships are one of the most important parts of life. They can bring us joy, support, and meaning. But they can also bring challenges, misunderstandings, and pain. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy, offers practical tools to help us build stronger, healthier relationships. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control, accept what we cannot, and act with wisdom and kindness. By applying these principles, we can improve how we connect with others, handle conflicts, and grow as individuals. Let's explore how Stoic ideas can help us build better relationships. First, Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control. In relationships, we often try to change others or control how they think, feel, or act. This usually leads to frustration and disappointment because we cannot control other people. What we can control is our own thoughts, actions, and reactions. For example, if someone says something hurtful, we cannot control their words, but we can control how we respond. We can choose to stay calm, listen, and respond with kindness instead of anger. This shifts the focus from trying to change others to improving ourselves. When we focus on being the best version of ourselves, we create a positive influence on our relationships. Another Stoic principle is acceptance. Life is full of imperfections, and so are people. No one is perfect, including ourselves. Stoicism reminds us to accept others as they are, without expecting them to meet our ideal standards. For example, if a friend is often late, instead of getting angry, we can accept that this is part of who they are. We can choose to focus on their positive qualities and let go of minor flaws. Acceptance does not mean we ignore harmful behavior, but it means we stop wasting energy on things we cannot change. This mindset helps us build deeper, more genuine connections because we learn to love people for who they are, not who we want them to be. Stoicism also teaches us to practice empathy and understanding. Marcus Aurelius, a famous Stoic philosopher, said, "When someone does you wrong, ask yourself, what good or harm did they think would come of it?" This means trying to understand why people act the way they do. Often, people act out of fear, insecurity, or ignorance, not because they want to hurt us. By putting ourselves in their shoes, we can respond with compassion instead of anger. For example, if a coworker snaps at us, instead of reacting defensively, we can consider that they might be stressed or having a bad day. This approach helps us avoid unnecessary conflicts and build more supportive relationships. Another important Stoic idea is to focus on the present moment. Many relationship problems come from overthinking the past or worrying about the future. We might dwell on past mistakes or fear what could go wrong. Stoicism reminds us that the only moment we truly have is now. By staying present, we can fully engage with the people around us. For example, when spending time with a loved one, we can put away distractions like phones and really listen to them. This shows them that they are important to us and strengthens our bond. Focusing on the present also helps us appreciate the small, beautiful moments in relationships, like a shared laugh or a kind gesture. Stoicism also emphasizes the importance of virtue, which means living with wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline. In relationships, virtue means acting with integrity and treating others with respect. For example, if we make a promise, we should keep it. If we make a mistake, we should apologize and make amends. Virtue also means standing up for what is right, even when it is difficult. For example, if we see someone being treated unfairly, we should speak up and support them. When we act with virtue, we build trust and respect in our relationships. People know they can rely on us and feel safe with us. Another Stoic principle is to practice gratitude. In relationships, it is easy to take people for granted or focus on what is missing. Stoicism reminds us to appreciate what we have. For example, instead of complaining about a partner's flaws, we can be grateful for their love and support. Gratitude shifts our perspective and helps us see the good in others. It also strengthens our relationships because people feel valued and appreciated when we express gratitude. A simple thank you or I appreciate you can make a big difference. Stoicism also teaches us to handle conflicts wisely. Conflicts are a natural part of relationships, but how we handle them matters. Stoicism encourages us to stay calm and rational during disagreements. Instead of reacting emotionally, we can take a step back, breathe, and think before speaking. We can focus on finding solutions rather than blaming or criticizing. For example, if we have a disagreement with a friend, we can say, "Let's talk about how we can solve this together instead of you always do this." This approach helps us resolve conflicts in a way that strengthens rather than damages our relationships. Another Stoic idea is to let go of attachment to outcomes. In relationships, we often have expectations about how things should be. We might expect others to act a certain way or relationships to follow a specific path. But life is unpredictable, and people are complex. Stoicism teaches us to let go of rigid expectations and accept that things may not always go as planned. For example, if a relationship ends, instead of clinging to what could have been, we can focus on what we learned and how we grew. Letting go of attachment helps us stay open and flexible, which is essential for healthy relationships. Finally, Stoicism reminds us to take responsibility for our own happiness. We often look to others to make us happy, but this puts too much pressure on relationships. Stoicism teaches that true happiness comes from within, from living with wisdom and virtue. When we take responsibility for our own well-being, we become more resilient and less dependent on others. This makes our relationships healthier and more balanced. For example, instead of relying on a partner to always make us feel good, we can find joy in our own hobbies, friendships, and personal growth. This way, we bring our best self to the relationship. In conclusion, Stoic principles offer valuable guidance for building better relationships. By focusing on what we can control, accepting imperfections, practicing empathy, staying present, acting with virtue, expressing gratitude, handling conflicts wisely, letting go of expectations, and taking responsibility for our own happiness, we can create stronger, more relationships are not always easy, but with Stoic wisdom, we can navigate their challenges with grace and grow as individuals. Let us remember that the quality of our relationships depends on the quality of our character. By cultivating inner strength and kindness, we can build relationships that enrich our lives and the lives of those around us.